Hello there, I'm Krishna Patel and you're watching The Fact Flash. Welcome to tonight's headliner. The long-distance relationship between India and UK got a whole lot closer. And this time, it's not about Queen Camilla doing a namaste or Prince William sipping chai. It's cold, hard trade. After 13 rounds of negotiation, last minute my WhatsApp's not working bro, ghosting and years of post-Brexit loneliness, the UK and India finally tied the trade knot. On July 24, 2025, during Modi's highly anticipated UK trip, the two nations signed a historic free trade agreement, what we call the FTA. It was all handshakes, press photos, and probably a silent internal sign of relief from the UK Prime Minister Starmer. Because let's be real, after the Brexit divorce, the UK needed a rebound. And India brought the exports, the population, and the purchasing power. Now let's get into the meaty stuff. According to the deal, India gets tariff-free access on 99% of its exports to the UK. Meanwhile, UK gets to slash its import tariffs from 15% to just 3% on goods entering India. Translation: British stuff gets cheaper here, Indian stuff gets cheaper there. And your next shopping spree could include Scottish whisky and Manchester-made machinery without crying over custom duties. This isn't just any deal. It's expected to boost bilateral trade by £25.5 billion annually by 2040. That's just 2.7 lakh crores if you're counting in Indian emotional currency. For context, that's more than GDP of Bhutan and the entire Bollywood industry's net worth combined. Currently, the two countries trade about £42.6 billion worth of goods annually, and they aim to double this to $120 billion by 2030. Because why stop at basic economic cooperation when you can aim for billionaire bestie status? Now, economists say that this FTA could add £4.8 billion per year to the UK's economy and even create jobs, especially in the whisky bottling and luxury car polishing. India, on the other hand, will likely see a boom in exports, especially from textile hubs like Tripur, Surat, Ludhiana, Moradabad, where someone's aunt's boutique now has a shot at going global. But let me break this down like it is an episode of Shark Tank, because what is in it for you? Dear Indian consumer, one word: discounts. British luxury cars, which used to arrive in India wearing a 100% tariff crown, will now enter with just 10% duty under quota rules. So yes, your neighbor's teenage son can now dream of an Aston Martin, and not just in his GTA game, but maybe even in reality, provided he marries rich. Scottish whisky, which had a 150% duty stamped on it like an angry customs officer, now comes at just 75%, dropping to 40% in 10 years. So in a few years, you won't have to sell a kidney to gift your boss a bottle of Glenfiddich. And no, it's not just about high-end drama. Medical devices, cosmetics, machinery, aerospace parts, biscuits, lamb, and even salmon will get cheaper in India. Yes, salmon. Just in case your Gujarati mom finally agrees to that keto diet. Tariffs on these British goods, which once stood at 11% more, are now being dropped or halved. Now let's cross over the other side of the pond. What does India get? Just tariff-free access on 99% of its exports products, considering UK tariffs on Indian exports ranged between 4% to 16%. This includes everything, from textiles, garments, 8 to 12% UK duty is now gone. Leather and footwear, more than 8% tariffs are gone. Gems and jewellery, gold, diamond, exports from Surat and Mumbai now shine brighter without a 2.5 to 4% tax. To even agro products like spices, marine exports, and basmati rice. Basically, this is like the Great Indian Sea, but international. Tripur's textile units, which employ over 1 million people, 65% of which are women, now have a runway into the British fashion market. Surat's diamond industries can now bling out the UK without customs checking their margins. Marine exports like shrimp and tuna already jumping with joy, as 95% of tariff lines on marine and food exports are now duty-free. Imagine Goan prawns in British pubs, Now that's soft power. And it's not just about the products. The FTA has thrown in some tasty extras too. The Social Security Convention signed under the deal allows Indians working in the UK on short-term assignments up to 3 years to be exempt from dual national insurance contributions, saving Indian companies around 40 billion rupees annually. That's 40 billion rupees that can now go into more chai breaks or maybe a decent HR department. And there's more. UK companies can now bid for Indian government contracts. A 4 trillion rupees market, that is about $46 billion, as long as they meet local sourcing norms, they now get access to about 40,000 Indian tenders a year. So yes, expect more British consultants awkwardly asking how to spell Swachh Bharat in their RFPs. Let's not forget services. Around 60,000 Indian professionals in sectors like fintech, engineering, education, and IT are expected to benefit from relaxed visa norms and mutual recognition of professional qualifications. So if you are a CA or engineer and dream of walking into a London pub and ordering fish and chips without worrying about visa, this might just be a moment. But hey, every fairy tale has a plot twist. This one? It's the villain called CBAM, the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. By 2027, Indian exporters in steel, aluminum, fertilizers could be paying up to $775 million in extra costs just to meet the EU-style carbon checks. It's like dating someone who keeps changing the rules halfway through the relationship. Also, the Indian MSMEs, our precious small businesses, still lack the awareness to navigate all the rules of origin clauses. Over 60% of them don't fully understand the paperwork needed to claim the benefits. Imagine getting a VIP pass to a party and showing up without ID. That's us right now. There's also a missing piece in the jigsaw. The Bilateral Investment Treaty, BIT, it's still pending. So if an Indian company gets into a dispute in the UK, or vice versa, there's no clear investment protection framework yet. It's like signing a prenup, but forgetting the clauses about who gets the Netflix password after the breakup. And while we're all giddy about lower whiskey prices and cheaper Bentleys, let's not forget, some Indian sectors may take a hit. For instance, dairy and processed food producers could face competition from British imports, especially in the urban elite markets. And auto component, the MSMEs in places like Pune or Faridabad, could feel the pressure from imported UK tech. But if our boys stay resilient, they'll figure it out because Jugaad is our national policy. Anyway, meanwhile, British whiskey makers are toasting the steel heart with India being the world's biggest whiskey market. Yes, you read that right. They're expecting £1 billion in export revenue over 5 years. And UK car makers Jaguar, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Aston Martin are already mapping out their India showroom expansion plans. Basically, they're going from waitlist only to EMI options available. On the sustainability side, India scored a small but symbolic win. The UK agreed to recognize geographical indications, or what we call GIs, as like Nasik wine, Feni from Goa, and even toddy. So maybe your next London bar crawl ends with a shot of officially recognized Desi toddy, not too shabby. And digital trade. India got the UK to agree to not demand source code disclosure and to enable paperless customs and quick clearance, with goods expected to clear in the 48 hours or less. That's faster than most Indian e-commerce deliveries. But hey, global trade works in mysterious ways. So, to sum up this glorious trade gossip, Indian exports winning, British whiskey and luxury brands get a foothold in the land of laddus. Middle-class Indians can soon dream of sipping Glenfiddich in family functions, and MSMEs across the country have golden ticket to the Queen's Market. If they can't figure out the paperwork, it's not perfect. There are carbon taxes, compliance burdens, and still some unfinished chapters. But make no mistake, this is one of the boldest trade deals India has ever signed, and it's going to rewrite the rulebook for how the world trades with us. So whether you are a Surat diamond trader, a Liverpool whiskey distiller, a Bangalore techie, or just someone wondering if UK biscuits will finally be cheaper at Nature's Basket, this deal touches you and your wallet and your weekend plans. Now, all we can hope is that our babus and businessmen don't screw it up. With this and a lot more, stay tuned.